Hey, what's up everyone? I am Rob Richards and I'm here with the Powertec Power Rack. We have it fully loaded with all of the optional extras. And within this video, we're gonna take a walk around, have a look at many of the key features of this Power Rack and talk about some of the unique exercises that you can perform on this Power Rack using all of the attachments. So first, let's get started with the bench setup. Here we have the Olympic Workbench. We have 5 different positions, sliding it back and forwards, and 7 allowing it to come all the way up to a near incline upright position, several incline, flat, and decline, allowing us to perform a range of different bench presses, as well as access to the lower cable pulley here on our lat tower attachment. So a few exercises for this one include a seated low row, we do a single arm row, a short bar, as well as including the bench in there for some unique overhead tricep French extensions. Now we have access to a whole number of powerlifting type movements within the rack, starting with our barbell squat. Now, if you see in the other video where I demonstrate all of the exercises, and we totaled over 50, including all of the attachments you see here, I also performed a seated military shoulder press. And for that, we slide the bench back, bring the top pad into a full upright position, and then we move these hooks to the front of the rack, giving us access to perform those seated presses without needing to take our arms behind the back. A few other options include bringing the hooks out into the front. Now we can perform movements such as deadlifts, barbell rows, half racks, and a whole number of other powerlifting movements. Okay, so let's move around and have a look at some of the other attachments, starting with our lat tower here. Now, this comes and makes up a huge number of exercises that can be accomplished with the Power Rack. We have our top cable pull here for movements such as lat pull down, tricep presses, underhand grip, overhead tricep extensions, but also our lower cable there. Now with the bench out of the way, as I mentioned, this gives us access for curls. We can put the single D grip handle on, perform tricep kickbacks, single arm rows, and again, the foot attachment screws on directly where the bench is, giving us even more exercises, seated row, single arm row, and more. So one unique feature about this lat tower attachment is we have our thigh pad here, which we simply just lift up and keep out of the way when performing pretty much every other exercise. But when we want to do the lat pull down, we drop the bench into a flat position. We bring this down, lock it in based on 3 different settings based on your height. And then whether you want to use our standard plate loaded system for the resistance, or you want more of a pin stack, you can have access for one or the other or both, really allowing you to put a lot of weight on here, a lot of volume to be moved for the lat pull down or for some of the seated row movements. Right, as we come out to the front of the Power Rack, you'll see we have an additional attachment up here, the chin up bar. This also gives us about 4 inches extra height, which is really great when we're doing movements such as chin-ups or lower abdominal exercises such as hanging knee lifts, because it allows us to get a full reach in the arm without our feet really hanging on the floor. Number of different grips up here as well. So we have our overhand pronated. Of course, we can do an underhand, but there's 3 different positions bars here, allowing for semi-supinated, an angled one, and a wide one. So we can really focus on training the back and the arms through a number of different variations. By now, you'll no doubt have seen that Powertec colors are yellow and black, but there's a lot of red mixed in with this setup. And we're gonna take a look at each of those features, starting with our landmine attachment here. And simply by unpinning it and bringing it down and using our Olympic barbell to slide and lock into the end here, this gives us access to a number of unique and different exercises, including a landmine shoulder press. We can do variations of squat, chest press, rows, and even great core abdominal exercises. Let's lock our landmine back in there and take a look at our warrior rope attachment. Now this is really great for attaching our rope and performing speed drills. Great for cardiovascular, great for endurance, great to be able to mix in with some of the more powerlifting and weight training movements that we'll see within this Power Rack. If we come to the side here, you'll notice we have these 3 pegs on either side. Well, this is to allow us to attach resistance bands to hook over to the barbell for banded squats. We can perform this as well on the bench press, on barbell rows. So just another area that allows you to increase the intensity, creating it a little bit more challenging for many of the movements that can be done with or without bands attached. Right then, as we come around to this side of the power rack, you'll see our big red step-up plate here. Now this is a separate attachment and it's really easy to attach and detach. This allows for a number of exercises including box jumps, step-ups, as well as incline, decline presses, and variations of leg and lunge exercises. One of our final attachments that we have on the power rack is our band hook. These two little hooks here, really simple to move and position wherever you need them, but they're really great for looping the bands, locking them in, performing a number of stretch and mobility movements, as well as some really great warm-up exercises, such as a tricep press down, before moving into some of the more resistance-based exercises that can be performed here on the power rack. Okay, and there we have it, the Powertec power rack, complete with the Olympic workbench and a number of accessories, including our lat tower attachment, our step-up plate. We have our pegs here for the Olympic resistance bands, our landmine attachment, and our wall ropes, and finally, our ring there for adding resistance bands in. To find out more information about the Powertec Olympic workbench and power rack, check out powertec.com or check in with your local dealership. And I'm Rob Richards. Hope to see you back here real soon for more training tips, exercises, and full-on workouts here at Powertec. I'll see you soon.